I thought as soon as we saw the Prime Minister come in front of his house and resign, we thought about you. Is this a good thing for Canada?
Well, I hope it could be a great thing. It's at least the end of a disaster. I mean, that's something. It's something to be said for that, right off the mark. Canada was at parity for per capita GDP with the U.S. 9 years ago when Trudeau took the helm, and now Canadians are at 60%, and our real estate is twice as expensive as it is in the U.S. And so that's a catastrophe. He's been a catastrophe. And so at least the catastrophe will be gone. And then there's reason for hope with regard to a new administration, which should likely be headed by Pierre Poilievre, who's the leader of the Conservative Party in Canada.
Who you've had a chance to speak to. Just to look back at Justin Trudeau's career, and it's part of the reason you're in America now, and it's our gain and their loss. In 2015, he was unveiling Canada's first gender-balanced cabinet. Forget about qualifications. An ethics commission finds that Trudeau violated conflict of interest when he took a free vacation by mistake. 2019, images surface after he's condemning everyone else and being politically correct of his black face, his brown face, as well as his Indian headdress. 2022, I think the most egregious, he targeted protesters and took truckers' bank accounts and froze them. That was a bridge too far. But he's done some damage to the country in the long term, not just economically. I think he's really hurt the morale of the country you used to call your own.
There's no doubt about that. And I think you're right to point to his administration's freezing, not only of the truckers' bank accounts, but of people who dared to support the truckers on various social media platforms. Right. And no, it was the I don't think Canadians still understand how devastating that was to our international reputation. I've never heard Justin Trudeau utter a word that was true. He's false in every aspect of his performance and thought.
So your new Conservative candidate, likely, I hope, will be your next Prime Minister, it seems, is Pierre Poilievre. And you interviewed him. And his statement he put out after Donald Trump is kind of trolling you guys, saying, I'm going to make you the 51st state if you'll have us. Canada will never be the 51st state, he says. Our weak and pathetic Liberal government has failed to make these obvious points. When I am Prime Minister, we will rebuild our military, take back control of the border, secure both Canada and the U.S. In other words, we will put Canada first. I mean, that sounds so much like Donald Trump. I wouldn't be surprised if Donald Trump wrote it. Coincidence?
I don't think it's a coincidence at all, but I don't think it's a conscious attempt, let's say, to mimic Trump. I think that I know that Poilievre regards the United States as, well, a paramount